I don't know if you want to cut this out or not, but
This is Creators on Creators.
Money Talks. What is your highest paid brand deal?
Highest paid brand deal?
Yeah.
Creator relationships.
Yes.
Oh, this is fun. This is where we like specialize.
That's where we
right?
come in. Yeah.
I'm actually really happy we're here.
Once you sent me the date, I said yes. I don't care.
What's going on, man?
Wow, I feel like Joe Rogan.
What's the best editing app and software and why?
Do you prefer complete creative freedom or a big budget?
Tight turnaround or delayed payment?
Where do you find inspiration for your work?
We forgot to acknowledge the most important room, the elephant in the room. The beautiful phone right there.
Shout out to Creators on Creators by RØDE. This is one of the best opportunities ever.
Yeah, RØDE. You guys are a go.
Hello and welcome to Creators On Air. We are here live
In New York City. We're here at the Squarespace HQ for the Creators on Creators X Let's Ripple Friendsgiving Mixer.
and we are so excited for you guys to hear from some of the amazing guests that are here and all the incredible creators sharing their insights. A big thank you to RØDE for making this live podcast possible. Today we're using the RØDEcaster video setup.
We're also using the Pod Mic and the PS1, and you can find all the links to these products in the description.
So, all right, you go first or me? Which one?
What is your name and what type of content do you create?
My name is Elisa.
My name is Nestor Poole.
Hi, my name is Tiana, and I'm a content creator based in Florida, and this is my friend
Carlissa, I'm a content creator based in Jersey.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
My name is Naomi Charles. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
What's up, everybody? My name is Julian, and I'm here with my brother.
Joselito, but you call me Joseliti.
Hi Alvar. So happy to be here with you today.
Hi, Sophia. It's a blessing to be here with you.
Amen. We love a good blessing.
Yes.
And my name is Jay. I am Nigerian, but I'm also from Brooklyn, New York.
hi, my name's Shua, YouTuber based in Chicago. Here for Creators on Creators with my friend Bibi.
My name is Bibi Jane. I create videos on the internet, based in Amsterdam, live from New York.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the life of being a creator.
Yes, the hard life that it is, but we're here enjoying the best life.
We're here enjoying the best life.
Hi, Nicole. What do you do?
Oh, right. I create videos for Instagram. And
She's really dope.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's
she's
so
really,
nice.
really good.
So my name is Eric. I'm a yoga teacher based in Brooklyn. I'm trying to create more content about health and wellness, getting people to just really heal their bodies.
My name is Angel Barkley. I'm originally from the Dominican Republic. I came here in 2018 as a chef. Then I pivoted to creating content. And I'm here. I create content around filmmaking, photography, and creative stuff in general. I try to do a little bit of lifestyle, but I want to keep my message clear and motivate people to do the same if you want to do it.
My name is Sophia. I think I just started making content, or at least started taking it seriously. So I make content around self-awareness and our abilities to tap into ourselves to be able to create the type of life that we want. Specifically for creatives, it's more so about figuring out ways to anchor them in themselves so that they can create, one, positively, and two, from a place of authenticity.
I would say right now it's storytelling on health and wellness and how people perceive it and how they apply it in their own lives.
My name is Soraya. I'm mainly a photographer, but photographer turned content creator. So I just met some people like her and just really inspired me to want to get more into video, and I started enjoying it a lot. So it kind of just started becoming my thing slowly.
My name is Ricky Pastana. I'm 28 years old, and I'm from the Boston area.
That's dope.
Yeah,
What do you do? What do you do?
For a job or just like...
Creative, bro.
Oh, I'm on YouTube. I do lifestyle vlogs. I bounced back from Boston to New York because I just love embracing the city.
That's dope.
Sharing my ideas, my philosophies.
So I am a podcaster as well as an author. So I actually have self-published 3 books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. What are they called and what are they about?
So the names of the books are Focus, Chill, and Burn. They're actually all part of a series. And it centers around an event that caused a normal, everyday girl who's doing the right thing to actually choose, to do the wrong thing in order to, save the person that she loves.
I was born in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. Currently live in Connecticut, about an hour away from New York. So I travel through the tri-state area as much as I possibly can for my creations. I'm an artist first and foremost, whether it's mixed media, whether it's acrylics, oil and pastels, or just pen and ink. I've been doing that since about high school. Went to college with it, and I also make music. And recently, I've started vlogging, trying to do day in life vlogs, trying to learn more and more about the concept of being open to being perceived, because that's the hardest part for me. Is I don't want to be perceived, but I also want to have fun in the aspect of creating.
I started photography a while back because I kind of just was always just like a very like aesthetic person. Like I liked posting on Visco like really like random inanimate objects that just looked really aesthetic. Like I just like the aesthetic just thing. You know what I mean? And so photography kind of just came natural to me, even though I was just taking pictures like on my phone. And then when I got my first camera, because my grandfather, who was a photographer, bought it for my brother, and then he kind of just gave it to me when he got into producing. So I took the photography part, you know what I mean?
The type of content that I create, it's mostly focused around like lifestyle and also tech as well.
We've been hosting events on health and wellness, and we have a lot of footage, but in terms of the storytelling aspect of the content that we do take, I want to dive deeper and, add my personal storytelling of why I do these health and wellness events.
I don't know how this goes, but I'll ask you the question and then you will ask me the same question.
Okay, yeah.
So,
do you know, Julian, there's like a defining moment that just led you to creating?
I was like, how can I share a message using fashion as a medium of communication? Because I love fashion, but sometimes there's not too much soul in the industry after working in it for a little while.
Yep.
So I wanted to educate people to reconnect with nature and something that's so available to you, and we have it since birth. The first thing you do is take your first breath into this life. So it's a reminder to breathe and be grounded through something that's very available.
So I started cooking and experimenting, grabbing random ingredients and like making something awesome. And I feel that was tapping into my creative energy of just coming up with something. Then I went to school to do that and realized that in real life, that's not what I wanted to do, or at least the way that I wanted to express myself creatively.
It's interesting because I find inspiration in the personal work that I do. So I grew up in a very creative environment, and my parents were always like encouraging me to be creative. So I went to design school, and there it's kind of more unstructured. So you'll have the freedom to do all the projects that you want to, and I feel like it adds in so well to the work that I do in theater advertising, because all the shows are so different from the last one.
I love movies. I've loved movies, and it's one of my passions since I was a little kid.
We both love movies. I'm glad you love movies.
Because that's all I did with my dad. You know what I mean? Like all we did was go to the movies, watch movies. You know what I mean? So it was like something that I really fell in love with, just watching a movie. Fast forward, 6th, 5th grade, I had this film extracurricular activity. I stayed after school. I had these Hess trucks, and I always loved to watch action movies with my dad. So I made that was like my first ever like film created, and it was like smooth, like editing an iMovie, and I'm over here filming a car chase and car scene with like my Hess truck and Hess motorcycle and like Hess jet.
Is this gone? I want to see this.
I don't know where to find it, but it's like, yeah, I made it, and it was like I had sound effects, like the whole everything behind it. Like I was over here moving it on a string, trying to make it look like, it's driving by itself. It was crazy.
At my job, I was like, okay, like what's a way that I can be creative at work so I'm not miserable?
Yeah.
And I started running my job's social media account, and I was like, wow, I'm like good at this, and so that really built my confidence. And then I started working with Colleen, and she was my mentor, and I just wanted to make an Instagram account for just my animation projects, and then she was like, well, you have like a really interesting story, like you're just figuring out that you're creative, and like a lot of the things that I talk about in my videos I talked about with her, and so she's like, I think you should like share your story. And
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah. And whatever you decide to put out there, people will like, because people will like you as a person.
As a kid, I feel like I always wanted to express myself creatively, but I never had the funds or really, the assets to make something. So what I resorted to back then was drawing and like skateboarding. That was my outlet. But then as I got older, I wanted to, still pursue something creative. And all I would do was watch YouTube videos. And then one day I could afford a camera and then it's kind of snowballs until now. And I've been on YouTube for like 2.5 years now, and just keep grinding away and trying to give values to those who actually need it or want it through finding my content. So
That's so cool.
The creative work that I do personally is more like illustrative based. So I had shown you that on my Instagram, and it's like a
It's great, guys. You have to go and check it out.
It's like a kaleidoscope of colors, and people always say it reminds them of psychedelic art.
Edit on your laptop or on your phone?
Laptop every day, laptop. If you want to be a serious editor, no, I'm just joking, No, laptop.
This seems like a big hot topic question that a lot of us talk about. What is the best editing software and why?
Best editing software. So I recently switched over to DaVinci. We both did. And I'm actually really loving it. The workflow is so much easier than Premiere Pro. And I feel like I'm editing a lot faster than I used to. So yeah, I'm going to go with DaVinci Resolve for now.
Right.
What about you? What's your favorite app?
I
or
am
software?
slowly merging from Premiere Pro to DaVinci. I transfer my files right now from Premiere when I cut it and chop it to DaVinci to color grade and then back.
Yeah.
I'm not
as
ready
you
to
should.
fully commit.
That's okay.
I have like attachment issues.
And that's more than okay. That's more than okay.
My video editing app at the moment is DaVinci Resolve.
I mean, my favorite, or what I use, is Adobe Premiere. That's just because that's the first thing I learned to edit on. So I feel like it might be a comfort thing of just like, that's just what I know. It gets the job done. And I like it. I think it's, just efficiency, like knowing what all the buttons do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that it has been the one that really helped me build my like career with YouTube. Like I've gone through 4 or 5 different editing softwares.
Okay. I say DaVinci, only because that's the first and only thing I've ever used, so I'm kind of biased.
I'm really bad in that I know how to do certain things in specific platforms, and
You do a lot of different stuff too.
Yeah, and I think it's just because like I don't want to be constrained to one. So it's like, let me download DaVinci.
Just dabble a little bit in each one.
And then I'm like, I have to turn the sound up. I only know how to do that in Premiere.
Okay, so let's change the question. If you could only pick one.
Probably CapCut.
Okay.
It's like the easiest.
It's all around. You can do a bunch of different stuff.
I love definitely doing colors, and I was doing a lot of color gradings on my photos. So when I transitioned to video, DaVinci Resolve kicking in just right in place because it gave me that flexibility to create my own colors.
Premiere was like the one where I really learned the craft of editing.
Okay,
through. But right now, honestly, DaVinci's been like my go-to. It's just my favorite for coloring, and it's the one that I created my LUTs through recently.
Interesting. Yeah, I have a bit of FOMO, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've just always like been on Premiere, and now everyone around me is on DaVinci, and I'm like, what's the hype? But it is a comfort thing where I'm like, I don't know if I need to learn another program just because I have FOMO.
I recently started using DaVinci, switching from Premiere, and it was for the same exact reason. I wanted to level up on my color. I think color is the difference between, it's like one of those things that like color and audio that like levels your video up. I like it so far. It's definitely a learning curve from Premiere.
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited to get more into it.
If you ever need any advice, just hit me up. I'll hook you up.
No, thank you. I'll take anything. I'll take any advice I can get. No, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
For sure.
Amazing.
What is your best kept editing secret/hack?
Recently, I've been loving doing all my voiceovers before I edit.
Oh.
So I'll do a radio edit before like a rough edit, if that makes sense. It just makes it easier because instead of just like cutting random clips and then having a super long timeline, I'm like, I want this video to be 1 minute 30. I record a voiceover for that long and then I cut to the voiceover.
That's a good hack. I've always done it the other way around, but then I catch myself mid-edit doing the voiceover and then compressing it to that length of time anyway.
Yeah.
So I should just try it the other way instead of forcing myself to storyboard. Because also in a minute 30, you can't pack that many visuals in for like a slow piece of content anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good way to, okay, I'm gonna try that.
Do you have another one?
I think for me, it's really about organization. you know, in terms of like footage or clips that I shoot, you know. So when I import everything onto my hard drive and eventually into like the software that I'm using to edit, I like to have everything in a specific order.
My other favorite hack is, I'm recently doing this, is creating myself an epidemic playlist.
Oh, yeah.
For like, I call it Gabby's theme music.
Nice.
Because, in my computer, so the theme music for the channel, because I want my YouTube videos to be more like episodical. And I'm looking for a range of music that, you know, in like TV shows, they're always playing the same soundtrack.
Yeah.
I want it to start feeling more like that. So when you're watching it and you hear certain music, you know
Like,
it's my
that's a
video.
Gabby video.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I don't know if that's a hack.
No,
I think it's a hack.
I think
Yeah.
it's like a creativity
Yeah.
hack for sure.
Okay.
You're writing something, whether it be a skit or a story or anything, sometimes you get stuck. You're like, I don't know what to write for this particular part.
Right.
And I think, you know, as long as you keep your, you know, work organized, I don't think there's an issue with skipping around.
What was your first camera?
Actually, I don't have it on me, but it's a Sony DVD DCR 650. It's like one of those little
OGs.
Yep, OGs.
Yeah.
Yep. I still use it to this day in these videos because it gives us that nostalgic feeling. But
Yeah, and I think we're trying to mimic that nostalgic feeling with either film emulations or shooting film and stuff like that.
for sure.
Okay. Smartphone or DSLR?
Mirrorless.
Yeah.
The answer is mirrorless.
As raw as it is, I'm shooting on my iPhone. That's the reality of it.
Same
you
right
know?
now, yes.
You know, so I don't have a camera yet. So right now, more of my videos just consist of lifestyle videos. You know, just kind of days in the life, fitness videos, me in the gym, different things like that. You know, I'm actually a brand ambassador now. You already know. You know, so
I'm proud of you.
yeah, that just kind of pushes me to make more content outside, try to actually convert people. So
What I'm finding is I really love the new iPhone because you can shoot ProRes log, and I honestly think that is my favorite piece of kit right now because of just being able to shoot log on the iPhone. It's still 4K 120.
Do you like pop the hard drive in?
No, I
No?
I airdrop to my laptop.
Wow.
Yeah. But before I would say DSLR, because especially like being able to have lenses and all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But for ease, sometimes just iPhone.
iPhone's great.
What about you?
I catch myself filming on iPhone all the time.
Right?
The wide, like the 0.5,
Yes.
looks really great.
It looks
when
excellent.
you're in perfect lighting and everything, it works out great.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
I don't film in ProRes on my phone.
That's okay.
I don't have space.
Genuinely, the clips are so large.
I don't have space on my phone.
But apparently you can use the Black Magic app, and you
Oh?
can like change the settings, and it compresses the files into a smaller codec.
Oh,
And then, yeah, it's
I did
like-
not know this little hack.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shoot S-Log or Rec 709?
S-Log. I love these questions.
Yo,
S-Log 3, bro, every day.
I have
this.
a question because I'm all new to the S-Log and the Rec 709. What's the difference?
Rec 709 is just a different color space. S-Log is like log profile. You can just like shoot with more control, pretty much. Like, so if you want a color grade, you can change the color grade if you shoot in S-Log.
Alright, so, and what
That's
are
nice.
some tips that you can give us
To shoot an
pertaining
S-Log?
like S-Log?
Well, if you're shooting in log, I think you should naturally or normally overexpose your image. So just overexpose your image. But I think if you have like a Canon camera, bro, the best advice is just watch YouTube videos. Literally, bro, like just watch YouTube videos because everything's explained online.
There's something that like a full-on DSLR or mirrorless has over a phone that I don't think they're gonna be able to bridge that gap. To be honest.
Honestly, my first camera was an iPhone 4 that I switched for a BMX bike that I had because I didn't have the money to afford it.
Wow.
And the first things that I started taking photos of was flowers.
Nice.
Like, you know, you grab your little phone. I feel we all.
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh
It's
my
like-
God! Look at that flower.
It's like whatever you're thinking of, like in present moment. It's like that looks beautiful. Let me shoot it.
Yeah.
Let me go over here. Let me go to the playground. Let me go to the park or whatever.
When it comes to recording, do you use like smartphones or like a traditional like mirrorless camera?
Mirrorless camera. Yeah, Sony ZV-E1.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's like the most compact full frame, I would say.
Yeah.
For me, like I would say it depends on what I'm doing.
True.
Because, I mean, that's why I was wearing these Ray-Ban Metas is because they have a camera in them now, and they're really, really cool. The second iteration of these, so I like very interesting cameras, so like Insta360s in my own iPhone because it shoots log now, which is really nice. But, I mean, I'm always going to carry around my big camera. That's like my favorite, I would say, because, it gets like the picture.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I guess my answer isn't on the card for this question because it's like, I like working cameras. I like getting things that most people might not think about getting or think they could get because usually you're shooting with just like a camera. But
is gear important to you?
Yes and no. I feel like if you want to grow and do certain things and you're going down a certain path, gear matters in a sense. Because if you want to make movies and stuff, yeah, you're going to want to get like a camera that can shoot log and learn how to color grade and all that kind of stuff. But if you're, I don't know, just like an everyday filmmaker just trying to carry stuff, make stuff about your day and just go on random adventures with friends and stuff like that, like phones are pretty great these days.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's where people in undeveloped countries sometimes with the least amount of resources are the most creatives.
Yep.
Because you think you need a new camera, but you have the idea, which is more important and costs more time and effort and money. You just got to do the work, I feel like. And those kids, is just, Gox is a great example.
Gox is an amazing creator.
Yeah, he's a great example. Like, he uses what he has.
And like if you watch like Casey Neistat, for an example, his cameras are not like obviously now, but like back then, like he still told a story with bad image quality, but still made it his own.
Yeah, self-expression.
Exactly.
Indian people, indigenous people on the walls, they were expressing something. They were telling a story, and I feel that if we get too caught up into the formats or mediums that we use to tell a story rather than the story itself, that's where it gets messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
Being from another country gives me a different perspective about what it is to navigate life.
Took that word in my mouth.
It's a different perspective. It's a different mindset. We're raised differently. The culture is different. There is a weight that comes with living in America, especially as a person of color, that we all know about. That doesn't really exist in my home, right? I don't have to burden that. And that shapes your mindset about your ability to do things. I think the benefit specifically with America is that there is such a work ethic. There is, and being in New York is so different. I've lived in the Midwest, but being in New York, it is very true. If you can survive this place, you can survive anywhere. So the ability to combine what I've learned from home, my culture, how I navigate the world, and the confidence you have not feeling like you need to present yourself differently because another group thinks less of you or whatever the case is. And with work ethic from the American mindset, to me, makes me unstoppable.
But do you think that mirrorless cameras and digital in the future will be the new nostalgic?
That's a good question. I feel like...
Do you think we will live in the generation where that will be the case, that people that shoot digital and mirrorless, there's going to be something else, you know? Because, you know, it's 3D scanning or whatever the technology may be might change the way people create things, but you will want to have the control, the ISO. And it's becoming more automated. Like, if you think of Sony, Cine AI, ISO, now, like, shooting at 180 with the 180 rule on the new software in FX3. Like, I'm getting very technical, and I'm sorry to everyone, but it's just like, I feel that that's going to impact the way we create, and we want to have the, you know?
Yep. I feel like as humans, we want things very fast and easy for us to share our creative endeavors. Some people don't even want to, you know, have things that are too much for them. They just want to make. So I feel like as technology goes more, we're going to be even more simplifying it through time.
Between like long form and short form, like what do you lean towards when it comes to like how you express stories?
Long form.
Yeah.
I feel we're both long form girlies.
Yes.
YouTube is my first love.
I've tried to make myself a short form girly, and I have a very love-hate relationship with it.
It's difficult.
I feel like it's like a fake version of me.
Yeah. Especially because I think we both love to yap.
I am a yapper.
Yeah, so like YouTube is just the best place to be able to speak. And like even if no one's listening, you feel like someone's listening.
I'm doing something.
Exactly.
Somebody's always watching, and we don't even know.
Exactly.
Like, even if I wanted to start a podcast, I'm like, I'm going to talk to myself for like 6 hours.
That's fine.
Somebody will listen.
Someone will listen eventually.
Short form.
I prefer long form only because I feel like I like creating longer stories than shorter ones. I feel like that's just preference though.
Now that I finished building my studio, I feel ready now to go to the long format, YouTube or whatever it is. You know? Yeah.
I agree. I think long form is kind of like almost a lost art. Like I think creators are getting really successful on Instagram and TikTok now, and that content is innately short form, and I think short form is good for like retention.
I always not like wanted to do long form. It always made the most sense. I think maybe just money wise, that's what maybe keeps me on short form as well. But also I feel like I've learned so much from short form because it's very much experimental.
The amount of effort that goes into long form is obviously more. So
a lot more.
I think like for me, I'm really trying to hone in my skill of like storytelling.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just need to get short form down. And I like the constraint of having like less than a minute.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I do want to direct a movie one day. I just need to write it. I just need to have some self-control and actually sit down and write a movie. But short form has a lot of benefits, but I haven't found a way that I fully have passion for it. And I don't want to create something that I am only doing because I know it'll get views or something like that. And that might be a bad way of looking at it business-wise.
Yeah.
But as a creative, like that's how I want to look at it.
You build an audience that's much more invested in like what you're making and your journey. But I think it's tough. Like I think it's you have to.
Long form of video is an art.
But I think with long form as well, it's something I only started doing this year, and the thing is, it literally feels like giving birth. Like I don't know how people do it. Like it takes such a big part of my heart, and then it's out there, and when it is like out there, I'm like, damn, there's like a piece of my heart missing even, which just shows that I put way too much love in it maybe, and then maybe I will get used to it. But right now it just feels like like a lot. But in a good way, like it feels very like, wow, I made this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always an amazing feeling when you've like had so much joy and so much pain creating something and finally releasing it, and then you get that one comment where it's just like, this was so amazing, or like this touched me in a certain way, like in their heart, and it's like, that's why I do this.
Are there parts of you that come out through your work?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see how when you're expressing yourself with something you love, different forms of how you act is emerging, and you just become so enthralled in the moment, and you just realize, wow, that's me. Like looking back at some of my favorite paintings or some of my favorite drawings, I'd say, starting it off, I would be like, okay, this is a daunting task. And then, you persevere through it. At the end of it, you look back like, I did that. Like, what else can I do?
If you could get rid of one platform, which one would you be willing to lose?
Like that I'm already on?
I guess that makes the most sense, yeah.
Wow. TikTok.
Ooh.
TikTok?
Really?
Yeah. Well,
wait, actually, no. I agree with that. Just because Reels. I'm more of a Reels person than a TikTok person.
TikTok. Drop it in a heartbeat.
Why would you say that?
Drop it in a heartbeat. Because, like, it's interesting because TikTok is the first thing where people outside of my circle started watching my videos. So there's a part of me that's grateful for it, but there's also a part of me that's so, like, it feels like the place for your content to be seen by new people constantly.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't feel a connection. And I think it was awesome to see like numbers grow, but it felt so disconnected. I was like, okay, this is all I ever wanted. Why isn't it feeling good? It's because I wasn't feeling an actual connection with those people watching my videos.
This might be a cop out. I'm gonna say Snapchat.
Oh really? Well, I don't use a Snapchat.
But they have Snapchat has like the kind of like a Reels TikTok-esque.
I hear that
kind of vibe. Yeah.
The stability and the structure that YouTube has created since 2006 is still unmatched, in my opinion.
1 million followers on TikTok is completely different than 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, like subscribing on YouTube is like it's more intentional than following on TikTok.
I totally agree
and
with
also like the type of audience that you're reaching.
Instagram is like the LinkedIn for creators. Even though I will say some creators should jump on LinkedIn. It's a very open market for video creators. Because when you step into people's world on LinkedIn, like they're usually never looking to see something that you create. But I've seen a lot of interesting comments on people's like videos on LinkedIn.
All right, this is a good one. How do you work on building creator relationships?
Creator relationships? Yes. Oh, this is fun. This is where we like specialize. This is where we come in. Yeah.
Oh, that's so easy. Just talk to people.
Amen. Yeah.
Just talk to people.
Fun fact, today is my first time meeting Carlissa in person. And I found her on YouTube. I followed her on Instagram, and then it went from there. So that's really exciting to meet her for the first time at this event.
Literally after a year and a half, because I feel like we started talking back in March of last year. And here we are in November.
Yeah. In New York.
Hello.
That's crazy.
This is our first time hanging out.
This is our first time hanging out. We're so back. Trying to build connection with other people is something that I've been learning more and more, like through time. Because at the beginning of my career, I was doing video and photo for this company, and then I ended up creating like a different type of job for local businesses in New Jersey. So I feel like through community was the only way that I can like show my work.
There are these safe spaces and communities with you for you to grow within and network with people that, you know, ultimately you could look up to, but everybody can teach each other something.
Being yourself first and foremost, but also scouting out people that are into the same things as you are. I feel like I didn't find a community until I was more diligent about actually looking for the community. I wasn't engaging with people that I truly admired and stuff like that. Like I would just watch people, I'd like their content and I'd walk away, you know what I'm saying? But actually engaging, asking questions, DMing, even commenting, it's as simple as a comment. Like there's so many creators now in my niche that we now have a relationship just because I commented on a video one time.
Exactly, and that's a big part of it. Like some people follow each other just to follow each other, but I think being more intentional about who you're following and who you're reaching out to, and also not being afraid to do that, because like with Carlissa, like I found her through a YouTube video and I just felt so like moved by just her daily vlogs, like, and just her sharing the situation that she was going through. And so like I was like, I don't know, let me like see if I can maybe talk to her at some point. Like it does feel creepy, but like it's not, because it makes sense, because she's a creator, she gets it. So I followed her on Instagram and like it just went off from there.
Coming to events like this. Yeah, because right now we're at a creator, I don't know if they know, but we're at a creator event. So coming to events like this and talking to creatives, this is like the #1 way to actually like talk and speak to people.
I'm actually really happy we're here.
Dude, like I said yes. The time that once you sent me the date, I said yes. I don't care. I'm always working. You thought I was gonna work today and miss this? No.
And Tiana's great at making creative friends, y'all. Like I'm inspired by her. For real, for real.
It's definitely a muscle, but the more that you practice, it gets easier and easier, and you start to, as you become more like yourself, like you said, like being yourself is really the biggest key, because whoever you connect with is who you're meant to connect with, and if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out, and that's fine.
How important is this to you?
Like, this is my life.
Connecting with other creators.
I think this is the most important thing you can do, bro. I think end of the day, if content dies and you don't do it anymore, the people are always gonna be there. The people are the most important part about anything, I think. 100%, bro. People, 100%.
Spaces like this are so important for creative people from different industries, because you have contact with graphic designers, with software development people, and so many people in so many industries that you have no idea where you're gonna grab like inspiration from.
I realize it just brings me so much joy to share these practices with people, right? So that's what we're really trying to do with these events and bridging, you know, a lot of what you do with community building, with like awareness of, you know, health and wellness, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What are some of your techniques for growing and engaging with your audience?
I would have to say just being myself. I feel like back when I was creating hair content, I mean, I was true to myself, but I wasn't. There was a time where I lost passion for it, and I was just working to pay some bills.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about the growth. I feel like I didn't care about the content itself, so it kind of slacked off, and in turn, it affected my growth as well.
Yeah.
I feel like once I started doing what was more comfortable for me, which is just talking to the camera about faith, about whatever, honestly, the growth was easier because I put my all into the content all over again. Does that make sense?
It's something you're more passionate about, as opposed to like doing it to just to do it.
People can tell the difference.
Yeah.
We live in a world where it's everything you see on Instagram and YouTube, it's a copy and paste of something. And I feel like that diminishes because we should be inspired by things, but make it our own way. And
I agree.
And through that, like, I feel like you find your own voice.
Yeah.
Through it.
I agree. Something that I have been struggling with is because I was really bad at dumb scrolling, and that's where my source of inspiration was coming from, and my content started to look like a lot of other people's content. Then I switched my source, like forcibly. I didn't want to do it, but I started watching really old movies or listening to very old songs or like watching paintings, and then try to create with limitations. So let's say I'm gonna create something only using black and white color. Then you know what I mean? You create different types of work that you will never would have done if you were creating based on the inspiration that everyone else is just getting through. I don't know. I feel that that's really important to preserve, because a lot of people is talking about this because it's a real thing. You know, like everyone is making the same thing or asking what font do you use? Like, there's a lot of other ways to like tap into that energy.
And I feel like too, like when you're limited, it makes you even more creative.
That is like a big thing I learned this year about like growing an audience, is that they like, yes, they care about the content, but they also want to care about you. And like, why am I listening to you? How can I relate to you? That makes watching your content feel like I'm talking to you for real, as opposed to like, this is just a part of my doom scrolling. So
I get that for sure. I think in this day and age, people are looking for personal connection, and like you said, if they feel like they're talking to a friend or they're getting to know you for you, I feel like it does way better.
Do you think you have a healthy relationship with social media?
No, I'm definitely very addicted. I'm very addicted to social media. Not healthy at all, but I'd like to try to fix it. But I feel like I feel like it's harder when you're in the game, but it's not an excuse for you not to have it. So unhealthy.
In what sense, though?
I think like I wake up in the morning, just check it. Like if a video that does well, I'll just go check it and stuff. Like it's very like not good.
I feel like I'm the opposite with that.
Yeah.
Because like I'm the type of person, like I upload and I go to bed. I don't care for
I can't do that.
it. Like I literally probably like check social media like probably after the gym, breakfast and everything. It's never first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, bro, like during the day. I want to check it right now, bro. Well, not really, because I'm here. But if I'm not doing anything, it's like, I just want to see if people like it so I can make something better. Like, it's like unhealthy for real. But it's all right. It's all right. I'll fix it one day.
What are some challenges you face as a creator?
I would definitely say consistency. Being a solo creator, it's like, okay, I'm the creative director. I have to shoot the content. I got to come up with the ideas. I have to be the editor. I have to do all of the color grading, all of the things.
Playing all the roles.
At one time. So it's like having to do that while I still have a full-time job. It's like, and a life. Very busy life outside of that. I would have to say that has to be the worst part.
Honestly, I think a lot of challenges for creators are self-imposed.
Correct.
You know, it could feel really lonely and it could feel very polarizing, and you could think, you know, I'm like 27 years old. I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, well, you probably already have it figured out by then. But a lot of us don't if we spoke about it more.
Making it up as you go along.
Yeah, I think we would just connect more and feel a lot more at peace if we just spoke about what we're going through. You know what I mean?
A lot of my friends look at me as like, oh, that's Jose Liddy. He's the creative friend. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, I guess, feeling some type of recognition. Oh, yeah, he's a creative friend.
But
that's cool. But at some point...
You need somebody to grow with. You need somebody in the trenches with you.
Yeah, in the trenches with me. Yeah, so it gets kind of like, I don't want to say lonely, but isolating. Who can I relate with? You know, so I'm actually really happy here with me. I'm gonna dab you up again. I'm really happy here with me, like seriously.
Trying to figure out what this algorithm means, and like if I should make content for the algorithm or make content for myself. What actually makes money? You know, like how do I make money as a creative?
Like, is it just you or is it just me? But I feel like always shooting for just the algorithm, it's like you're selling yourself.
You're selling it
like you're
badly, you mean?
Huh?
It's like a bad thing, you mean? Yeah, but it's tough because when you do that, bro, you also, it's hard because like you know what the audience likes, and you know that that's gonna pay your bills sometimes. So sometimes I feel like you make a compromise because you're scared about the future, and that's kind of tough. So definitely that, bro, 100%.
So also finding the balance between creating stuff that you think people are gonna like versus creating things that you like.
Yeah.
Because at the end.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I got lost a little bit on campaigns. I'm not creating for myself, and it sucks. It feels bad. I kind of feel like I'm losing the joy in all that, and I myself, like 2 weeks ago, I felt burnt out.
Yeah.
I burned out myself, and I was like, I had to think about what is gonna be my next move, and now I know it's like you gotta find that balance when you work for your stuff that you actually like to do. And then, you know, the ones that pays the bills. You know,
exactly.
It's a process, but getting there is tough sometimes.
I think the intrusive part of social media is always what's glorified, and not everybody likes to share every little detail of their life. I definitely fall into that category for sure.
I would say balancing it all, because even though I don't have a full-time job, it's like you said, there's still life. Like being a sister, being a aunt, being a friend, like all of that takes a lot of time. Yeah. And so does creating when you have to work for hours, whether it's like coming up with an idea, then actually making the idea come to life. Like all of that takes a lot of time, and I've been struggling with like balancing it all.
Yeah.
But you know, God is good.
Amen. All the time. And all the time, God is in fact good, y'all.
I think the biggest challenge right now is balance and trying to find stability.
I was really struggling with the fear of being perceived, and I'm also a twin, so my whole life people just like assign labels to me just to figure out how we're different. So like if my sister was funny, I couldn't be funny. I have to be the smart one or the outgoing one.
You don't want to be associated constantly,
right? So then for the longest time, because labels were just given to me, I didn't think I was funny for like ever.
Which she really is actually. So
fear was a challenge in the beginning. I didn't realize how passionate I was about speaking about our abilities to tap into ourselves, talking about self-awareness. And as I started making content, the goal just became more to find comfort within myself first, so that I could speak in a way that's not only inspiring, but that shows confidence, right?
Correct.
And so when I say don't fear and take a step, I really mean it. Because every day you're seeing me take steps to overcome that fear, as I tell you that you can take steps to overcome your fear.
Me being a workaholic, or I guess being conditioned into being a workaholic, I don't think a lot of us are naturally that way. I think we kind of are pushed into that from just a lot of different things. And I think just, you know, choosing what was important to me and not going with what, you know, all the outside, like, you know, all that outside noise, and you know, just focusing on, okay, this is what I really want to do. This is what I want to focus on, and I'm going to have to make some changes in order to pursue my goals and, you know, really dive into my creativity.
Experience so far has been great. I mean, there's been a lot of learning curves, you know, like, because it's been very, like, learning the technicalities of it and learning, you know, my own style, and really, like, figuring out, like, how do I go from trying to tell a story in one picture to now, like, multiple, you know, videos and multiple segments. So that's the only part that I would say has been a little bit challenging, but I've really enjoyed the challenge. And like I said, I think being surrounded by people who are so much further ahead of me has also helped me be able to, like, just have guidance in a way, like, hey, what do you think I should do about this? Or like the other day I was kind of asking her about, like, how do you come up with creative concepts? Because I feel like it's hard for me to, like, come up stuff on the spot.
I'm a multi-hyphenate artist. I feel like I always struggled for a long time. What do I call myself? Because everyone's always about, oh, labels this, labels that. You know, labels are applicable to everything. Relationships, job titles, emotions, I don't know, Gemini. And because I was like, I love acting, I'm a theater kid. But I love movies. I love critiquing movies. But I love filmmaking because I made my own digital short films on my YouTube, and I just acted in 2 short films this year from really great directors. One of which is here today. His name's Raymond Tish, great guy. He made a short film called The Filipino Goodbye, and I'm an extra in it, and it was such a great experience.
That's fire. You're always on, and you're always behind the computer or something. Your mind is always racing, right?
I'm seeing a lot of burnout with creatives and creative entrepreneurs. I am a creative myself, so I'm just hoping to fill that gap and serve right now.
There's a lot of burnout that I've seen, because you're just so plugged in. A lot of people work from home, but because of that, they're just they're always behind a computer. They're always home. They don't have time to go out, maybe even to the office, and then just move around, and finding the balance between setting boundaries between work and your personal. I think not getting too sucked in, especially if you're a content creator, where you're just I need to keep pumping out content and all that, quality over quantity.
I think that narrative is interesting, right? Because what if we shifted from, instead of I'm going to take vacation when I'm burnt out, or go find these practices when I'm burnt out. If you practice them proactively, maybe you don't burn out, or have more buffer, right?
Yeah.
So shifting that narrative in wellness to make it a part of your daily ritual, and without unspoken, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that content has shifted the way that we think of sharing things? Because I really like what you said there, that you used to think something was beautiful and you wanted to capture it, but now I feel that we have to come up with a concept, a script, a target audience. You have to come up with a hook. You have to be way more intentional to express yourself, which is good because that defines your self-expression methods in a better way. But where's the fun?
Where I am right now, it's I'm finding a happy medium where I literally draw on a dry erase board, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and then I'll do bullet points of the story and how it's going to flow, what's going to have the rising action, and then it's just I know the idea of the video in visual, because I'm a visual person. It's hard for my brain to have it all in my head, but with it written out, I'm able to kind of find that weird medium place for me right now.
It's interesting. I love that. I think I'm very much still in my head with my ideas, which for a long time I'm that's fine. I'm the one filming. I'm the one that needs to understand. But now I am coming to a point where I'm I love what I do, but I cannot do it alone anymore. I get so lonely. I can't be for the next 10 years I can still see me doing this alone like this. So then it becomes okay. But if you're working with someone, you need to be able to show them what's in your brain, So, I think that's a challenge for me right now.
Yeah, putting on the director's hat.
What pushes me towards the success story is not being afraid to fail. You could fail multiple times. However, how you get up and move forward, got to fail forward. That's the motto,
I feel we can get caught up in thinking about, do I want to be doing what I'm doing exactly forever? And it's a daunting thought, because most of the time it's no, I'm burnt out 5 times a week. But I feel that's also where the spontaneity in the creating and just being creative in and of itself, it's just focus on today. What can you make today, or what's your one project this week? And just make it simpler.
Yeah.
And just have fun, which is the whole mantra of my YouTube channel. It's just how are you following the fun in your creative process?
I actually recently quit my full-time job.
Oh, wow.
In order to pursue that, because I knew that I was in a space where I was I'm so drained. I can no longer really, tap into this.
Yeah.
And it's important to me, and it's something that I want to do more of, and I had to make that decision, and it was scary.
Wow.
Do you think health and wellness correlates to, this space that we're in and the people that are in this space, creators, digital landscape?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, I feel everyone needs to take care of their mental health, right? We live in a city that is so fast, hustle, bustle, right? And I feel it too. I feel at times worn down, stressed out, and we're not meant to be operating like robots all the time, right? I think it's important to surrender to the fact that we are humans, we have a human experience, and what that means is sometimes winding down, taking time for yourself, right?
What part of creating videos are you enjoying the most right now?
That is a good question. Right now, I'm like currently taking a step back from like the higher production videos and going into more like weekly vlog stuff, where I'm able to focus on the storytelling, have more time on the story. And if I have an opportunity to make it prettier or like add more elements, then I will, and I'll experiment with stuff. But I feel like, you know, lo-fi storytelling is kind of coming back around a little bit right now. I wouldn't lie and say that isn't a bit part of the reason, but I really want to make sure like I'm giving my best in the storytelling side of it, like the writing and stuff like that, and like how I'm talking on camera, and I feel like I can be better at that. And, but that's I think my favorite part right now is like focusing on how I convey the story.
I love that.
What about you?
My favorite part? Right now, it's editing, but it's figuring out the story in the edit. That's been my favorite thing. My favorite thing has been like getting a bunch of footage in my little Premiere and being like, what's the story here?
Yeah.
But I think it's a slippery slope because I'm getting too used to that. And when it comes to pre-production or like scripting now, I'm like, it's just like blank. And I'm like, I just want to go out and shoot and then figure it out. But I feel like sometimes that doesn't work out in your favor. So I don't know what that means. Maybe it does mean that I'm maybe getting more interested in like documentary style. So documenting something and then kind of seeing, okay, what's the story here and how do we keep filming? But
Money talks. What is your highest paid brand deal?
My highest paid brand deal?
Yeah.
Do you really believe there's no money in the art world? Is that a belief or
it's just a
fact?
fear. It's a fear because it's either you make a lot of money or no money.
My God.
Dude, if we're not making videos, we're making money. That's just pretty much how life is going at this point.
Oh my God, it's so real. If we're not making videos, we're making money.
My highest paid brand deal was $10K.
Okay, that's sick. That's crazy. It's a good feeling, right?
Yeah, bro. Like I was like, what? Yo,
it's like we scammed them, bro.
All right.
You know, actually, I quit drawing and painting for a long time because I was pursuing it with the intent of making money. And that is the worst, well, actually, that's the best way to kill a dream or to kill a passion. You know, you can't have your mindset on just the income and the income and the income.
When I started out doing content, it wasn't like something I ever thought it was something I'm gonna ever take seriously. It was like I just hopped on the social media. I was never on social media for like a good 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And I hopped on, saw the whole TikTok thing, saw videos. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to try this, start doing it for fun.
And this man was chefing up, bro. That's
after
fire.
a while, my first deal, I got like 1,000, and I was like, and that time I thought it was like, wow, 1,000.
Yeah, this is real. Nah, I know, but not 10K is crazy, bro. I'm actually trying to have that consistently, just to make a video online. And people don't even know. That's the craziest thing. Like people like, they'll think you just make content, bro. Like you're probably making more than them, which is insane. Anyways, next question. What's the lowest deal you've taken and why?
All right, the lowest deal I've taken, I think it was 2K. And
What? You just said you had them for 1K.
No, that was like, I really don't even count that. I didn't count that, the 1K, because it was like, that was like my first deal. It was like, okay, I'm just getting my feet wet.
Yeah.
But after like knowing the business and everything.
This kid is not serious. Bro, what is your lowest deal? So it was a 1K.
Bro, I don't count it though.
You can't. You can't not count. But you went to the IRS like, nah, you don't count this.
All right, let's say that. But I really want to give you the reason with the 2K though.
All right, fine.
It was more like a brand reach out to me, but it was like a brand that I always want to work with.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, you know what? I like the brand, and I already have like an idea of what the content is that I want to do. So I was like, you know what? I just took the 2K, and like within like 3 months, they upped the deal.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Okay.
So it was like,
to 10K.
it was like a win-win. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
No way.
Exactly.
Bro. That's crazy.
So they doubled the deal, like,
all right, cool.
like tripled more than
That's
this.
actually crazy.
Do you prefer complete creative freedom or a big budget?
Honestly, complete creative freedom, because even when I've worked with clients that are like lower budget, when I feel like I have full creative freedom, I feel like I take it more like as a portfolio piece. And so I'm able to like just create something cool, even if I'm not getting paid that much, to just create something like that I love. And I feel like having creative freedom is more like valuable to me than like a bigger budget.
I think it depends on the project, really. You know, like if you have like a whole production in mind that requires a team, then you're going to need a budget.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but if it's just me trying to tell a story, I don't mind, you know, it just being me and maybe a couple other people, you know.
I think that I would just automatically choose creative freedom, because if you're doing something that you don't necessarily align with, but you have a really big budget, then like it's not, your energy is not going to be the same.
Exactly.
Like
you create for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like being able to just transfer that and do that for someone else with your creative ideas, I think is like, I don't know, it just makes it so much easier than working with a huge budget and you're like constricted in like every area.
Right.
How do you negotiate with brands?
Negotiation, it all depends, honestly, on the type of video it is. Because I know like certain videos do better than some, so anything pertaining to like self-care or like cooking videos, those are
top tier.
Yeah, so 100%. That's really
tight turnaround or delayed payment. Ooh.
I think tight turnaround.
Yeah, me too.
The high I get from like.
Me too. I'm a little bit of a procrastinator, so I feel like sometimes I work better under stress. So I pick tight turnaround too.
Yeah.
What's the number one thing you ask brands before you collaborate?
The first thing I ask is always like, what's the price per campaign?
Yeah. Valid.
Never like it doesn't even matter if they hit me up and ask me like, yo, what is your rate sheet or what is this? My first question,
what's in your
what's
pocket?
The price per campaign?
That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
Because I feel like I can sell myself short when probably a brand they're willing to pay me like $30K, but because I say I want like 2,000 or 3,000, they're like, okay, just give them that.
Give you that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a problem too. Yeah.
Do you diversify your income as a creator, and if so, how? I would say the only way I diversify it is just like now, instead of just doing photo, I do photo and video, which I've started gaining some clients through video because I've just been posting like personal stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much how I would say.
Diversify how?
Like, do you have like assets and like stocks? Like, do you have your Nah.
The only thing I do while creating everything, literally go back into
the creation,
buying equipment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, bro, you gotta diversify though, bro. Like, you gotta get some stocks or some light. And then like some real estate properties.
Like I think there's something I want to do in the near future. Yeah. It's not I don't know, because I'm kind of funny when it comes on to like stocks and stuff, because I don't have much knowledge on it.
Exactly.
But so being that,
bro, I got knowledge, bro. Huh? I got knowledge.
I guess
I actually got you.
We gotta lock in.
Easiest thing, I'm not gonna lie, easiest thing ever.
But the thing is, my thing, I want to do something pertaining to mostly food, like come up with like probably like a sauce, like a pepper sauce, or something that I know like, yo, that will always sell. So
100%.
even when I'm sleeping. But the stocks,
bro, you should come up with some Jamaican pepper sauce or something like that. That'd be fire.
It's in the works, bro.
Well, that was our last question. Thank you so much for joining.
Well, thank
your
you.
own segment.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you for joining. I've never answered these questions.
Oh,
so this was fun.
How fun. Did you make these questions?
Yes, we made them.
And you've never answered it?
Never.
Neither Becky?
No, we've never done them.
Shout out to RØDE for this setup. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Daryl, for coming on to my podcast. Appreciate you. This is not my podcast, by the way.
Well, yo.
All right, yo, we're out of here.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you for joining.
See you next time.
See you next time.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
That's it. That was good. All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
That is our little episode of Creators on Creators.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
It was
great speaking
lovely
with you.
speaking with you.
Shout out to Creators on Creators
Yes.
for having us in here. This is awesome.
Shout out to Creators on Creators by RØDE. This is one of the best opportunities ever.
Yeah, RØDE, you guys are a GOAT.
That's good. We're good.
Thank you.
Fist bump.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
This was the best episode.
All right, peace out.
Wow.